So my name is Dana Johnson. I'm with the USDA Wildlife Services, and today we're going to show you how to build a very simple guillotine hog door. The materials we're going to use is 3 12-foot 2x4s. We're going to have some 2x2s that we cut into 6-foot lengths. We got a 32-inch piece of plywood. Basically, you take a full sheet of plywood and make 2 cuts 32 inches. That's going to be our door. You can either use 1/2 inch or 3/4. 3/4 may be preferable because it's a little bit thicker. Simple deck screws, 3-inch, a drill, a square, a saw, pulley, and a tape measure. That's all you need to build a simple hog door. You're probably in the materials about $45, $50, depending on where you're at. And use treated wood. It'll last longer, and this door we've used for years. Simple to build. And as you can see, we're going to build on the back of a trailer today. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make our measurements. You'll take 2 of these 12-footers and you'll cut them to exact 6-foot lengths. These 2. And then you'll take 1 of your 12-foot 2x4s and you cut it in 4-foot lengths. 3 of them. And these are going to be your cross members. So you have 3 cuts, 2 cuts on here for 3 4-foot pieces, 1 cut a piece on these for your 6-foot runners. And we're going to cut this 2x2 into 6 feet so it can lay and create the channel which your piece of plywood is going to slide up and down on. Alright, now we've already cut the materials. We have our 4 6-footers. We've got our runners, which are 2x2s. We have 3 4-footers. We've got our plywood. So all we got to do now is start assembling our door. You know, you can do one of these doors in about 30 minutes. So we're going to start putting this thing together. Alright, the first thing we're going to do to make our runner is make sure we have a warp. We put the warp down, and all I'm going to do is use some 2-inch to set this runner in place, and then I'll flip it over. And always remember, when you're using these power tools, wear your gloves, wear your safety glasses. See right there, once we put our other board on, we'll have the runner where the plywood will slide up and down. You see I'm going to put the other side of my runner on. I'm going to use this excess 2x2 to hold it in place. And I'm going to put 5 screws in it. And when you're putting these screws in, what really helps is if you put a slight angle on them. That way they won't pull out over time. All right, we've built one side of our door. We've created a channel. And what this channel is going to be for is that is where your plywood is going to be able to slide up and down in. So what we're going to do now is build another one of these, and then we'll start putting our cross members on. So that's the reason you want that channel. All right, we've got our runners laid out. We've got our cross members laid out. And what you need to do, measure inside to inside. You want it 33 inches. That way your 32-inch plywood has about a 1/2 inch on each side for environmental reasons, warping, but you want 33 right there. And then you got your 4-foot runners. We'll have one at the bottom, one about 4 foot in the middle, and one at the very top. And you're going to have an overlap of about 6 inches on each side. And I like to use at least 4, and if you want to 5. And once again, put these screws at slight angles so they don't pull out on you. It's also good to try to countersink them. And once you're done, feel in there to make sure no screw went too deep, because if you use too long of screws and it goes through, it could keep your door from falling all the way. It could catch it. So now we're just going to do all the cross members, and then our door is almost ready. I'm just finishing these supports under these cross members. And when I'm putting these in with 2-inch screws, because I don't want to fully go through into my track. Once again, I'm using 5 on each side. Alright, what we're doing now is remeasuring the top to make sure it hadn't moved inside to inside, and make sure we're still at our 33 inches, which we are. What I'm doing now, got a 1/2-inch drill bit. I'm coming about 1.5 inches off center. I'm drilling the hole on each side, and what we use these holes for is to use tie wire to tie this the door to the T-post we'll use on the trap. What we have is an eye bolt with an S-hook and a pulley. This is what we're going to have the rope go through when it's attached to your falling door. What we've done is we've slid our piece of plywood, our 32-inch wide piece of plywood, into the tracks on our runners. We've already attached our pulley, we've tied our rope, we drilled a hole in here, tied our rope to it, to the door, and ran it through the pulley. So once you have this in place, this is what your door is going to look like on your trap before you catch your pigs. You got it open, and then once, and we'll discuss it later, once the pig hits your trigger, go ahead and drop it. The door shuts. 20-25 minutes, we have a fully functional guillotine door.